We are looking at solving exponential equations today. So if you take a look at like number one, before I even tell you anything about what to do, what do you think you do here? How do you think that you would solve for x? Any ideas? So here's basically what we want to do. Remember that this whole unit is on exponents, right? So I need to be doing something with my exponents to help me out. What do I notice here? I've got a 4 here, and I have a 1/4 here. So here's what I like to do is I'm gonna ask myself, okay, is there a way for me to rewrite 4, or I guess I should say it this way. Is there a way for me to rewrite 1/4 so that it looks like a 4? And there kind of is. So check this out. How do I get 1/4 from 4? Couldn't I raise 4 to the negative 1 power? Isn't 4 to the negative 1 1/4? Right? That negative exponent puts it downstairs. So another way to write this equation would be like this. 4 to the negative 2x equals, and then instead of writing 1/4, let's write 4 to the negative 1. Oh, okay. So hopefully that makes sense, right? So I could rewrite 1/4 so that it's just a 4 to an exponent. So that's kind of going to be my goal here. I want to get these two bases to match. So if I need to rewrite one side, I'm going to do that so that now you see on both sides I have 4 as my base. Well, if this is an equality, which it is, I've got an equal sign right here. Don't these two things, hold on, don't these two have to be equal to each other? Right? If it's like 4 to the second can't ever equal 4 to the third, right? The only way that this is true is if I have 4 to the second has to equal 4 to the second, right? These two things have to be the same. So that's the logic I'm going to use here. If I'm looking at my example, there we go. The negative 2x and the negative 1 have to be equal to each other. So I'm literally just going to write that as its own new equation. Negative 2x has to equal negative 1. And now I can just go ahead and solve for x. Divide both sides by a negative 2, and I get a positive 1/2. Cool, and that's my answer. And you can check it, of course you can, it's an equation. So if you take 1/2 and plug it back into the original, negative 2 times a half is just negative 1. And isn't 4 to the negative 1 1/4? Yes. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, all right, all right. Let's look at number 2. So this one, you already have those bases the same, right? It's already a 4, it's already a 4. So I kind of just get to jump to this. These two things have to be equal. So negative 3x must equal positive 3x. Well, how's that going to be? Let's go ahead and solve this. Maybe I'd add 3x to both sides. So I get 0 equals 6x, and then divide both sides by 6. And I get 0. Oh, which is a perfectly fine answer, right? 0 is a number like anybody else. People always like to treat, they see a 0 as their answer and they freak out and they think it's wrong. It's not wrong. Take it and plug it back in. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. So isn't 4 to the 0 equal to, on the other side, I'd get 3 times 0 is 0, 4 to the 0. Yes, 4 to the 0 really does equal 4 to the 0. My equal sign looks a little funky there. That's a bit better. Yes, that works. 0 is my answer. All right, let's try 3. Okay, this is another one. They're already the same. I already have a 5 and a 5. So I'm just going to set my exponents equal to each other. 3x has to equal negative x minus 2. And now I just solve. Let's add x. 4x equals a negative 2. Divide by 4, divide by 4. Looks like I'm going to get a -1/2. Cool. Oh, these are kind of fun. All right, all right. Let's try 4. What? What are you supposed to do with this? These bases don't match. That's a 6. That's a 1. Huh. Well, let's think about it. How could I? This is like a what's the word I'm looking for? Not a riddle. I don't know. Whatever. How can I rewrite 1 so that it has a base of 6? Did you get it? There is a way. Maybe you thought of this. Instead of writing 1, isn't 1 the same thing as 6 to the 0? Isn't it? 6 to the 0 is 1, right? And now look, I have my bases that are the same. So I'm just going to set those exponents equal to each other. -x equals 0. So that just means x equals 0. Right? So if you popped a 0 up into my original, yes, that would work out just fine. So 0 works. And I'm going to do one more with you. Oop, oop, oop. Okay, 5. Let's see. All right, so I've got a 4 here and a 64 here. I want to rewrite the 64 so that it has a base of 4, okay? Did you figure out how? Okay, so instead of 64, we're going to write it as 4 to the 3rd. You got it. So now that I have those bases the same, I'm going to set the exponents equal. -2x minus 2 equals 3. And then we just solve from here, right? Add the 2, add the 2. -2x equals 5. Divide by a -2. So my answer here is just going to be a -5/2. All right, give the rest a try. Let me know if you need help.